ObamaCare for years now. In many areas, Humana is the only carrier left, so this will mean even more instability. And then on Wednesday, the CEO of Aetna, another large insurance carrier, said that ObamaCare is in a death spiral. His words. Here is what is important for us all to understand. ObamaCare is not simply stuck in some kind of status quo. It is getting worse by the day, and it will keep getting worse unless we act. We need to rescue people from this collapsing law, and we need to replace it with a true patient-centered system, one that gives every American access to quality, affordable coverage. That means more choices and lower costs. It means real protections and peace of mind. And it means returning your care to your control. Patients and doctors should be making the big decisions, not government bureaucrats. Step by step, this is what our plan to repeal and replace Obamacare will do. We look forward to making progress in the coming weeks and keeping our promise to the American people. Questions?
Why do you think we're seeing so many leaks coming from this administration? The president has said that they will be caught. Do you think that, or do you feel that those behind these leaks should be referred to the Justice Department?
I can't answer why. I really don't know the answer why so many leaks are coming from the administration, or from wherever they're coming from. But if you know, let us know. What I do worry about, though, is if classified information is being leaked. That is criminal. And so I think there should be an investigation as to the leaks of information leaving wherever they're coming from. And if it's classified information, that is criminal, and there should be a criminal investigation of these leaks. That does compromise our national security. Casey.
To follow up on that, should the House Intelligence Committee include in its inquiry an investigation into these leaks?
Yeah, the House Intelligence Committee is the proper place for this. They're the ones who get access to the sources and methods. And so I do think it's appropriate, and all of these, by the way, everything involving Russia is what the House Intelligence Committee has been working on, looking at, and we've had an ongoing investigation in all of this. And so yes, that would be the proper purview for something like that.
And do you believe that Mike Flynn should testify before the House Intelligence Committee?
I'll defer to the House. I haven't given any thought to that. I'll defer to the House Intelligence Committee. Nothing, Robert? All right.
Yesterday, Federal Reserve Chairwoman Janet Yellen testified on the Hill that the border-adjusted tax would create economic uncertainty and even in some cases weaken the dollar. What's your response on that?
Weaken the dollar? I don't know if I would agree with that.
She suggested that.
Yeah, I think most analysts would. I think maybe you got that the other way around.
Well, what's your response, I guess? To
Here's how border adjustability works. A lot of people, there's a lot of confusion surrounding this. We are one of the few countries in the world that do not border adjust our taxes. 160 countries currently border adjust their taxes. We're in the company of companies like North Korea and Somalia, Afghanistan and Iran or something like that. So almost all other countries border adjust their taxes. And what that means is you tax based on if it was consumed in your country, not if it's made in your country. What America does, we tax people based on whether it's produced in America. And so that means we do not tax our imports and we tax our exports. And we're putting American-made products at a huge disadvantage. There's a built-in bias in our tax code to outsource manufacturing and re-import into this country. That's not good for American jobs. That's not good for American manufacturing. That's not good for American economic growth. And so all we're suggesting is let's equalize the tax treatment. Let's be fair to ourselves, and let's treat ourselves like every other country's treating them. So when we make something, in America, let's put it on a level playing field with everybody else. So let's just take this tape recorder right here. Let's just say this in America. I hope I didn't turn it off. American-made tape recorder. Oh, this is an Olympus. I have no idea where that's made. Sony, made in Japan. Oops. I just want to explain this to you. All right. American-made tape recorder, Japanese-made tape recorder. Here's what Japan does when they make this tape recorder. When they send it for export, they take the tax off of it. And then it comes to America, and it's not taxed. And it comes here to compete against our good, which is taxed. Theirs was untaxed twice. When America makes something, like a tape recorder, we tax it. And then we send it to Japan. As it enters Japan, it's taxed again to compete against their tape recorder. So we are doing it to ourselves. We are hurting American manufacturing and jobs. We are putting a bias against making things in America in the tax code. That is why we think, I hope I didn't screw up your tape recorders. That is why we think this is very important. This is good manufacturing policy. With respect to currency adjustments, it is obvious and mathematical that a currency adjustment would occur when we harmonize our tax laws with the rest of the world. For people who are concerned about it, I believe that there are things we can do, and Ways and Means Committee is looking into this, to ameliorate those concerns, to address those concerns, so that the transition from a really bad tax system to one of the best in the world we would get out of this is a gradual transition. I would also say that those who are concerned about this, I think they underappreciate how much better our tax system will be with this kind of provision.
So that's my just quick follow-up, is that you're not.
You got me going on tax
No,
reform, sorry.
But you're not concerned about that the growing Republican opposition to the border adjustment tax will jeopardize tax reform?
No, I don't. Look, go back and read the books that were written about the 1986 tax reform. That was the last time we did tax reform. It's gonna be up, it's gonna be down, it's gonna be on, it's gonna be off. You're gonna hear, you're gonna report 150 stories on tax reform fate between now and when we get tax reform done. We are doing tax reform. Tax reform is going to happen. Do you know why tax reform is going to happen? Because it has to happen. America has the worst tax code in the industrialized world. It is killing economic growth. It is driving companies to become foreign companies. More and more and more U.S. companies are going to leave this country because of our tax laws, or get bought by foreign companies, and we will lose our seed corn, our employers. We will lose economic growth. This is existential to our economy, and we know this. And so we're going to get tax reform done, and there's going to be a whole bunch of drama you're going to enjoy covering between now and then. Yeah.
The Affordable Care Act has refundable tax credits. How is the refundable tax credit in the House GOP plan different, and why is that better
Affordable
than deduction?
Care Act, they call them refundable tax credits. They're subsidies, and they're subsidies that say, we will pay some people some money if you do what the government makes you do. That is not a tax credit. That is not freedom. A tax credit is you get the freedom to do what you want and buy what you need, and your choice. The Affordable Care Act is the opposite of that. The Affordable Care Act is the government makes you buy this, and by the way, like I just said, there's 1 or 2 plans left. With Humana's pull-out, there will be 0 plans left in certain markets. They make you buy it, and then they subsidize what you buy. A tax credit is a fixed amount. The Affordable Care Act is not a fixed amount. A tax credit is a fixed amount that is universal to Americans in the individual market to go buy the health insurance plan of their choosing. It is the opposite of Obamacare, which is not a patient-centered system, it's a government-run system. What we're proposing is a patient-centered system where the patient is designs their plan. The patient gets to decide what they want to do. The nucleus is the patient and her doctor versus the nucleus of the system being the government and Obamacare's sake.
And why is the
Case.
credit?
One.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know that you heard from Secretary Price this morning. I was wondering if there are any areas where you think the White House could improve communications with Capitol Hill.
I should know. We're doing really well on that front. I don't know what you guys report, but we talk with the White House daily. Our teams, our House and Senate teams are in conference, or in consultations with the White House constantly. We're very excited Tom Price is over there. Tom Price was one of the primary architects of our Obamacare replacement plan that we rolled out last year, and now he is the Secretary of HHS to execute and implement that plan. So we're very pleased with that, and I think we have fantastic communication with him. Better than I've ever seen before, actually.
Has the President shared his pick for Labor Secretary with you
No,
yet?
I heard it's coming, but I have no idea who it is.
Just to follow up on that a little bit with the Obamacare, I mean, obviously there are Democrats who think the law needs to be fixed. Republicans chose to go the reconciliation route with repeal and replace. Do you think it's going to be possible to have the plan that you just spoke of without help from Democrats? Do you think that do you wish you would try to go into this in a little more
We would love to have
manner?
support from the other side. They've made it really clear to us that they don't want it, they're not interested in doing that. I think, Jennifer, what the Democrats, just taking them at their word, they want to go down the socialized medicine path. They want to go down the government-run healthcare path. They want what they call the public option, which is to basically have no options but a government-run plan. That is not something that we're interested in doing. We think it will do even more damage to the healthcare system in America. And so we believe in a patient-centered system where individuals have the freedom to buy what they want and not what the government makes them buy. And also, we think, Jennifer, it's really, really important to have choice and competition in healthcare, because choice and competition lowers costs and increases quality. That is the opposite of what Obamacare does. Obamacare restricts choice, It denies competition. We have monopolies in a third of the counties in America. And as a result of the lack of choice and the lack of competition, you have much higher prices and fewer supply. I was saying that.
Do you have any concerns that there's a group of Republicans in the Senate who come from states where Medicaid expansion was already accepted, and they're very skeptical of any plan that takes that away from their states?
Yeah, I think it's 32 states, if I'm not mistaken, have Medicaid expansion. Mine did not. We're going to have to find a solution that accommodates each of these two concerns. I've asked Greg Walden, who's our chairman of the Commerce Committee, he, along with Orrin Hatch, are working with governors to come up with a solution so that a state, whether a state chose to take the money or didn't, that going forward, as we give states more control, as we advance the principle of federalism by giving states more control over Medicaid so they can have innovative reforms, that we do it in a way that doesn't disadvantage either of the two sides of that coin.
Last question.
Clarify on Obamacare.
Say it again?
On Obamacare repeal and replace, the week you guys are back from recess.
It's coming, it's after the recess. We're waiting for our scores. So I hate to tell you.